The 7-star Cinderace raid is finally out. We have full data and experience to know exactly what we're doing. Today, this guide is going to cover 3 main things. One is a strategy to farm Cinderace very quickly and reliably. 2 is a strategy to carry your friends. Even if your friends are complete trash, you can beat the Cinderace raid with them so they can catch a Cinderace. And 3, people are using a variety of not very efficient builds right now, recommended by a variety of different channels, and I will be providing you support builds to fix those raid compositions. The difference between this video and my previous build guides is that now we have the Cinderace data, we've tried it out, we've experimented with it, and now I can tell you exactly what to build and exactly how to play it. If you haven't beaten Cinderace at least once, just check out my other video on how to easily solo the Cinderace with Slowbro. You may ask, if you've already beaten and caught Cinderace, why might you want to farm him? Cinderace drops a mountain of EXP candies, Ls and XLs, which really help you get a ton of Pokemon up to level 100, like just look at these boxes full of level 100 Pokemon, and a ton of fighting Tera shards, which are very difficult to get in abundance otherwise, and are very useful for getting fighting type Corviknight, Goldengo, and Koraidon. As a side effect, we also get a mountain of proteins for skipping some EV training, money items, and a few ability patches. Anyway, on with the show. Cinderace's moveset wound up being Pyro Ball, High Jump Kick, Acrobatics, Iron Head, and Bulk Up. In my experience, Iron Head is like the rarest move, and Bulk Up is what really throws your party into chaos. First, I'm going to outline the strategy for farming Cinderace so you can knock him out on turn 2 or turn 3, depending on what variant of it you run and what party members you can get together. First, we have Charizard with Belly Drum and Acrobatics. These other 2 moves are irrelevant. The EV spread here is exact. Do not deviate from this spread. We need maximum attack, Adamant, maximum defense, EVs, and exactly 4 HP EVs, so we have an even HP stat. So when we Belly Drum, we consume a Citrus Berry, and with that Citrus Berry being consumed, Acrobatics is a base 110 power move. Second, we have Noivern, which is the only viable Screech user for Cinderace raids because he's the only one with the right defensive typing and sufficient bulk. We have Screech. These other 3 moves are really irrelevant. The ability is irrelevant. We want Wide Lens to make Screech more accurate. And lastly, we want 1 Pastry Dog. Item is irrelevant. We want Well-Baked Body to have the immunity to Pyro Ball, then Charm and Helping Hand. This EV spread is also fully physically defensive. The way the strategy works is that first, Dachshund uses Charm to reduce Cinderace's offensive power. Then Noivern uses Screech, while Charizard uses Belly Drum. Turn 2, Dachshund uses Attack Cheer, Noivern uses Screech again, and Charizard just waits. Turn 3, Dachshund uses Helping Hand, and Noivern uses Screech. Charizard waits until he has 3 Screeches, 1 Helping Hand, 1 Attack Cheer. You can be missing any one of them. So you can miss one of those 3 Screeches, you can miss the Helping Hand, or you can miss the Attack Cheer. As long as you have 4 of those 5 moves, then Charizard is ready to go. Acrobatics, 1 shot, Cinderace is dead at the end of turn 3. Recap, Doggo goes Charm, Attack Cheer, Helping Hand. Noivern goes Screech, Screech, Screech. Charizard goes Belly Drum, and then you wait until the right moment to use Acrobatics. If you use Acrobatics at the wrong time, the entire raid is screwed. You're gonna lose. I've never been able to save it from that. But if you do this, you will very consistently win on turn 3. You'll notice I only said 3 Pokemon because that's all you really need to make this work consistently. On top of this framework, we can make some modifications. We can basically bring any Pokemon that can survive Cinderace long enough that can provide damage mitigation. You can swap out Dachshund with Intimidate Gyarados, Intimidate Quillfish, Reflect Armarouge, Reflect Espartha, Reflect Screamtail, or Reflect Grimmsnarl. The main thing is that Charizard and Noivern, they can tank hits well enough from Cinderace to like be in the ring, but having damage mitigation from either Charm, Reflect, Noble Roar, Feather Dance, or Intimidate, this will really help Charizard and Noivern really do their job consistently. Noivern and Charizard are non-negotiable. For this basic framework, the 4th party slot can be a second Noivern. A second Noivern will let you get extra Screeches, so you can actually get the kill on turn 2. The strategy here is Screech, Screech on both Noiverns. Dachshund goes Charm and Attack Cheer. Charizard goes Belly Drum and then waits for all the support teammates to finish what they're doing and then drops acrobatics. In this strategy, if the Charizard drops the acrobatics at the wrong time, the entire raid is ruined. However, this is a very, very consistent way to knock out the Cinderace very quickly. Alternatively, and this brings me to carrying a teammate who's dead weight. Here, for proof of concept, I show a team of Charizard, Noivern, Dachsbun carrying a person who's bringing a level 20 Magikarp to the raid. Magikarp cannot do anything to the Cinderace and just dies. The secret to carrying your friend is to tell him to go get a drink. You know, treat himself nice, catch up on a TV series or something, just walk away, don't touch anything. The way this works is that the raid boss has two main mechanics. One is the raid boss only attacks you if you have a move. This includes either using an attack or using a cheer. As long as you are AFK, you are going to be fine. This is until turn number 4, where the anti-AFK measure kicks in and forces your player character to use an attack regardless of whether or not you clicked it. And then the raid boss responds to that and smacks back. As long as the Magikarp does absolutely nothing at all, the raid timer will not go down from a Magikarp dying. You see the Magikarp ends this raid at full health, and we will have 3 full turns to KO the Cinderace. And this raid composition of 3 Pokemon can very reliably end this Cinderace within 3 turns. Your friend who has a Magikarp will make it across the finish line, guaranteed. This is the Loup&Snoop strat, which is very reliable and very efficient if you have a team that kind of knows what they're doing. Unfortunately, many people are using strats from all around the world. Some of them are very poorly thought out, and basically everyone is focusing on stored power strats. So here, I'm going to show you support builds that will fix a lot of the raid compositions that other people are using that have been recommended from other sources. Before we get into that, you'll notice that the Loup&Snoop strats all rely on trying to one-hit KO the raid boss. This is because we do not want Cinderace's shields to come up. If Cinderace's shields come up, bad things happen. I have legit had raids where Cinderace puts up his shields, clears all his debuffs, clears all the party's debuffs, and then bulks up 3 times in a row. At that point, it's GG. There's no coming back from that. You're all dead. The Loup&Snoop strats all rely on trying to one-hit KO the raid boss so that he does not bring up his shields, so this sort of situation does not happen. This might sound like a weird situation, but really, in practice, whenever shields go up, your chances of beating the raid plummet. Second is that the Loup&Snoop strats try to set up that one-hit KO in as few turns as possible, because the more turns you are there with a Cinderace, besides the raid taking longer, the more chances bad things have of happening. So we want to get that one-hit KO, and we want to get it as fast as possible. The 2 main terrible strats are 4 Doggo strats and 4 Slowbro strats. The Doggo strat is you go maximum attack on Dachsbun, you spam Charm to get Cinderace to -6, you spam Howl to get everyone to +6, and then you spam Play Rough until Cinderace dies. However, in practice, Doggo does not really have the power to really chunk Cinderace very hard, so shields will absolutely go up, and that's when your chances of winning plummet. 4 Doggo strats are absolutely terrible. 4 Slowbro strats are not that bad because Slowbro can solo the Cinderace. In practice, they don't really help each other. Like, the Slowbros don't work together. The only thing you'll get from having 4 Slowbros is a chance of one of the 4 Slowbros attacking too early and ruining the raid. And at that point, really, why are you working as a team if you can KO the Cinderace in as much time and probably more consistently solo doing the same thing? Like, just there's no point to this. So we are going to deploy some support Pokemon to fix some of these terrible, terrible ideas. One raid composition that is very popular is 1 or 2 Slowbro and 2 or 3 Doggos. That is a raid composition that you can very easily fix by adding in a Screamtail or Oranguru support. Both Screamtail and Oranguru you generally want to run with a Pastry Dog, because these 2 support Pokemon, they are very bulky, but they can't really last for like 10 turns while Cinderace is just wailing on them. But what these 2 Pokemon do is they get the Slowbro ready into position to one-hit KO the Cinderace many turns sooner than it normally would. For Screamtail, we go Light Clay to extend the Reflect that we always put up on turn 1, then Fake Tears to reduce the Cinderace's Spadef to basically amplify the Slowbro's damage. Helping Hand boosts the Slowbro's attack and also kind of gives them the signal like, yo, you are ready. Just, the airport is clear for landing. Go. Because a lot of Slowbro aren't used to being able to kill with only 2 nasty plots. For Oranguru, we run Citrus Berry because the first high jump kick that Oranguru will take is going to do just over half damage to him, and we need to survive that while we get up the Reflects and the Charms. Oranguru comes with Reflect. After that, we Instruct. Instruct basically forces a party member to get like a bonus double turn on the last thing that it did. You're gonna mostly use this on Slowbro or whatever stored power sweeper you might have available with you to boost them up more quickly. So if Slowbro uses Nasty Plot, Instruct will give him another Nasty Plot. If he uses Iron Defense, Instruct gives him another Iron Defense. If Armarouge uses Calm Mind, it gives him another Calm Mind, etc, etc. The Guru mostly accelerates the Slowbro. Both Screamtail and Oranguru are best if you have at least one pastry dog on the team to help them survive, and one sword power user to really prop up, which is going to be Slowbro, Armarouge, or Espathra. Espathra is the worst because she requires the most support to actually work. She's basically like the worst one of them. If you don't have Screamtail, Grimmsnarl does the exact same thing. He's just a lot less bulky and therefore just inferior. Support Armarouge can also do the exact same thing as Screamtail, except when someone's running Armarouge, it's kind of confusing to know whether or not they're going support or damage, so it's hard to like bring the right team composition and play it right. One last lightning round, so you don't think I just missed your favorite picks that are actually terrible. I'm just gonna go out and specifically call out specific builds that are just not good. Azumarill, Play Rough is bugged, it does not work, he can't OHKO, he's a liability, do not bring Azumarill. Ceruledge for this is just garbage. Pelipper does not have the damage that he needs to really be able to hurt the Cinderace. Special attacking Charizard cannot boost his special attack, and therefore as an attacker in a raid is complete garbage. Espathra is outclassed by Armarouge is outclassed by Slowbro. The thing is that sword power users are always weak to how long it takes them to get fully set up. Slowbro having Nasty Plot gets him set up the fastest, and he's also the bulkiest. Also, there are several terrible moves that you should never ever bring to these Cinderace raids. You should never bring Psychic, Expanding Force, Psychic Terrain, or Play Rough. All of these moves are outclassed. You don't need Psychic Terrain. You always have something better to do. It's always a waste of your time. If Stored Power is going to do less damage than Expanding Force, you have not boosted enough yet. And the same for Psychic. Zen Headbutt Belly Drum Slowbro is just really confusing for your team to support, and you basically need a bunch of Noivurns to even get close to 1 KO, and you need like a ton of support. Just trust me, like Belly Drum Slowbro is just not going to happen. That's about it. This is my last video on Cinderace because I do not want to become a Cinderace-centric channel. If you like this content, feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll see you around later. Bye-bye!